Hi guys, welcome back. So this is part 2 discussion of the Halfway to Halloween Expo that was at the Washtenaw Grounds in Michigan, and it was so much fun. And today we're going to talk about the vendors that were there and just a very quick touch on the food trucks as well. So, and kind of cover up everything else that they had going on at the expo, with the exception, in the next video we'll actually cover what I bought. I'll show that stuff off as a separate video because I'm just worried it'll go too long otherwise. I wanted to start off with the is it 222 Reagan Creations, and they made these well, there's one of the things I bought. It's right there. It's the lantern. They actually come with a little light too, and $10. It was 10. Are you kidding me? I feel like at any other expo that would have been like 40 bucks. And I was like, I can't pass up on there. And they were like the Ouija board and puppy people because they had this adorable little puppy. Oh, can I pet her? Pet him? Pet her? I think it was a Basset Hound puppy, and I will show a little clip here and of a actor. Just petty. I got to touch his little cheeks, and he was so soft. Anyway, there's something that'll make you remember. Are you jealous? Are you jealous? Yeah. Okay. There's something that's gonna make you remember him. It's going to be a puppy. Like, am I right? But yeah, they had a lot of other neat stuff as well. The people just wandering around in costumes and stuff, they were amazing.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Or the person playing the accordion, which I know I've multiple times, they did a really good job. I was very entertained. And was it the Ashley? Hello! Ashley's Cathartic Crochet, where I love that they had a little crocheted F-bomb. It was done, it just had an F on it, but it was a bomb. They had some other things that I can't, like, I think they were probably a little adult to show off. I don't know, because it's not like it's crochet. It should be fine. It's art, but I'm not sure if that's okay to show, but I'll show some of their other stuff because I don't want to get in trouble from YouTube. All the Funny Productions, I think they sell most of their stuff on Facebook. They made these giant trees, and I make something similar, but mine are actually made out of glass. And I was making sure my mic was on. I'm like, oh no, did I? Mine are made out of glass, but also like I use a hot glue gun and paper and stuff to make them. But theirs are much lighter than mine and also much bigger. I can't make stuff that's gigantic. I thought those are really cool, especially for like a yard display. It looked like they'd be a pain in the butt to make though, and he just kind of said as much. I was able to find food at this. One of the vendors was Baked for You with the number 4. They had really tasty, they were like sugar cookies, but they're in the shape of a skull. Loved it. Oh, it was so good. I haven't had a sugar cookie I don't know how long. For anyone of you know, I have a gluten allergy and I get extremely ill and I break out in hives when I'm exposed to wheat and gluten, and it was really nice to have something that was very allergy friendly. And then I also got their pumpkin bread. It was like a pumpkin bread with some icing on top, and that was okay. My main problem with that was like, after like, I don't know, I was not quite halfway through it the next day, because I started eating it there, and I found a bunch of hair in like the center when I took it up. It's like a ball, and I know mistakes happen, but like that sucks because I had to throw the rest of it out because I have a aversion to hair being in my food, and it was a lot of it, so I just threw it out. And my cousin was like, well, is it your hair? But no, I told him, it's like, it's baked into the treat. So unfortunately I had to throw that out. And I'm not saying, it's like, most of the stuff is probably fine. I would still buy from them again. That's not going to deter me from buying their cookies and brownies, because they had really cool brownies with eyeballs in them. It's just, you know, it happens. It's just unfortunate that it happened. I got to talk to the people who make bespoke barrels, which I saw on Facebook on the Halfway to Halloween, where they were kind of hyping up the different vendors going to be there. I saw bespoke barrels going to be there, and I'm like, I was so excited. You have no idea. Like, I've always, like, I could fit in one of those barrels. Jesus Christ, it sounds like a serial killer thing. Like I would be the victim, but no, I don't want to. No one wants that. But like, you could hide in one of those. If you had it in a haunted house, you could hide and like pop out. I don't know if their top's open. You'd hit your head and knock yourself out. But like, you could fit in one of those. It would be a great time to scare people. But or just like a yard display, not even like a haunted house. I want one so bad. I said as much as like when I have the transportation and the money to buy one of these, because my little car cannot fit one of these in it. It is too small, and these are very big. They're full-size whiskey barrels, guys, and they're carved beautifully. I want one so badly, and they're expensive, but they're not as expensive as I thought they would have been. I was expecting, $300 at least, and they're nowhere near that. So it's like, maybe next year. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to borrow like someone's truck to get one, because I would love to have multiples, don't get me wrong, but like that's gonna go whew. Karen's Creepy Creations. I actually saw Karen's Creepy Creations at I believe it was Eloise's Harvest Festival, or Haunted Harvest. It was something, they had their own festival at Eloise last year that I went to on the same night as Deranged Media's night. And I saw them there, and I was fangirling over their stuff. It's amazing. Like, you guys, oh my, the detail in their work. And someone commissioned, like, they commissioned like the house from Monster House for them, right? Because that's the first thing I saw, and I was like, that is amazing. Someone commissioned that, and they never picked it up. They never went and paid for it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That one is rude, but also it's so well done. If I had the money, I would have bought that on the spot. It was amazing. Like, yeah, they're a little sizable, I will say that. So like, you will have to take it back to your car. You can't just carry it around. Maybe you want to. It was very busy there, like very, very busy. We got there an hour early, so like we didn't have to deal, because of media hour, we didn't have to deal with all the things there. But by the time I got to Karen's Creepy Creation, the crowds were starting to roll. But she does beautiful stuff. I cannot wait to save up more money to buy some of her stuff and like put it on shelves, because I have to protect it from my cats, mostly Cetra. He will go for it. Crescent cat crochet. Man, talking's hard sometimes. Axolotls. Bats. They have, of course, a black cat. I love that. That was my favorite thing there. They had a pumpkin, but they also had a cat there. It was really adorable, and I'm like, I need to get that, or maybe the Mothman. I will make sure. You can find most of these people. You can find their shops, and they're gonna be. I don't know. I didn't ask if there were gonna be other events this year, and I just want to show off like the crowd. Like when we got there, it wasn't as bad, but it kept going and going and going, and it was like shoulder to shoulder, and some of these areas it was like really tight squeeze. They had people reselling like really old, one of them was like a 200-year-old trunk. I'm trying to remember. I don't think we got footage from their stall because we were running really low on battery at the time. We had hours already of footage. I'm not even kidding. It would be a lot of footage. But they had a truck. Someone was selling my pumpkin. I saw my own pumpkins there. Like, I'm glad that, there's more of those in existence, because I don't hardly ever see them. So it was really nice. One of probably the first vendors that actually got my attention. I was walking, because I was really overwhelmed at first, because I'm not used to being like, I'm still not yet used to attending these things with a lot of people. I'm very socially awkward still. I still have a little bit of trouble with crowds. And I saw Decompositions, Corpse Creations. I didn't get to talk to the owner because no one was there at the time. Because again, that was like media hour. We had just arrived, and I was just like jaw dropped. Like that, their lighting effect everywhere. I was like, these are so cool, especially the pumpkins. Like I want the pumpkins so badly. I don't even know where I put them. Somewhere in my office, because I'd be worried they get stolen if I put them outside. But it was like as you're walking around, you're seeing more and more vendors. And I'm like, how can it get any crazier? And then you keep seeing so many unique. Like, I think that's what gets me is the unique. I mean, even the guy, and I'm blanking. I have the name saved, but I am blanking. Who makes the really cool wood car? He made topographic maps, but like carved out of wood. I think with like a CNC machine or something. But like, and even one of them was like a tiny fuck in a jar, and I was like, I almost bought it, but I forgot to go back and get it. So. My loss. But I was like, it's a single fuck in a jar. I love that. I feel like I have a lot of stories. There was, and I didn't even bother checking out the prices for like everything. There was Gourds Galore, and I believe it's Gourds Galore, and that was one of the other ones that I actually took that footage myself. I know that sounds like that's not impressive, but like I let you know, my cameraman usually do that, and I'm the one who edit and does everything else. But I had so much fun just like panning over those pumpkins. I'm like, I need to come back and get a more thorough look, and I did, but I never checked out the prices, and I never went back because I got overwhelmed. And then I have chronic illnesses, so we did have to leave a little early, unfortunately. But I had so much fun there. I had so much fun we still have to go through more vendors, and Glass Paper Sisters, those, they had like they had everything in like little jars, like these little houses in jars, and they lit up. I really liked that. And they're like, oh, you can remove the sticker if that's in the way. I was like, no, it's fine. I don't want to break anything. I just want to show everything off. And oh, the mushrooms by Dev Made Creations. There's so much. I feel like if I had too much money, if I had more money, I'd be like, I need a truck. I'm gonna buy everything. Nothing's going to survive this. I will say, I know we're only about halfway through the vendors I did videos for. There was some AI art there. I didn't appreciate that. I didn't catch all of it at first, but it was like as we went through kind of like another going through everything, I was like, oh, not a lot of it. There was more than I expected, but there wasn't a lot of it. But we didn't get any footage. I don't believe we got any footage of the AIR. It might be on the GoPro, but I purposely am not promoting that. I don't believe in AIR. I think that steals from other creators and artists. I have a strong stance against it. Not against AI in general, but against AI art. That's what I have it. It can be used in a lot of other fields, but not in art. It's not art. You're stealing. Another one, there was Gore Beyond Gorge FX. They sold some stuff you could use as like, I mean, you don't have to use it for cosplay. If you were not, you could set it up for display. They had a lot of cool stuff there. I was drawn to the different nursing outfits they could use for Silent Hill cosplay, or the Pyramid Head sword, or any of the other stuff that they had there. Was all really cool. I'm trying to go through, it was like Grim Goods had like a lot of like masks and heads. Hollow Beanies had beanies. I really liked them, and you'll see what I got from them. I think it's a little obvious, but I'll show you which one I got. How about that? I'll show you that. Oh, I got a selfie with IV Man from Scream Machine, and that was really cool. Jane Van Ghost art. Yeah, I love their stuff. What I'm actually showing off from them isn't even all of what they had. I didn't capture everything for everyone. I was kind of in a rush at some point, but I really liked their little goofy little ghosts that they had. Living Pottery had really cool stuff, but I was worried about carrying around pottery or putting it in the car. And then there's like Misfits Candy and Art. I've seen them at Frankenfest. I believe is Frankenfest. They're really cool. They had some, I was just like, I don't even know where I'd put this, but I love it because it kind of has that like carnival look to it. And I don't know, it's inspiring. I just want to put it stuff. Midnight Spooks had these little Cthulhu, but they almost look like gravestone or headstones, like Cthulhu headstones, and had this really weird box thing that I really liked. It was crazy looking. My Crowning Glory, I got to wear one of their hats, and I saw the price tag and I was like, I shouldn't be wearing this. I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to wear this. It was really cool though. It was really cool. Let me see who else. Purgatory Pumpkin. I filmed so many people, guys, and like I liked way more vendors, but this is what we could fit on camera. Like Purgatory Pumpkins, and they were really cool. I just want to make sure I show off enough of that. Also, as a break, like at maybe halfway point or so, we did Shattered.
I'm Skeleton Bell, and this is Shattered! Oh, I made it through that was so much fun!
Which was put on by Scream Machine, and that's where you could just throw those clay pigeons, and it's like a rage room, but instead of having to, I mean, you still have to put on gloves and safety glasses, but at a rage room, you have to kind of gear up to go in. This is like you're outside of a certain line, and you're throwing them in. You have to wear gloves and protective goggles, and then you could just throw stuff at like the clown's face or like at the casket, or if you're like a champ like me, you're gonna like get it right between the chains. Like, not that, I mean, I wish I was trying to do that. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that, but it looked really cool nonetheless. So I had to pull the whole thing up. There were a bunch of haunted houses there. Some of them had their own stands, like Slaughter Creek Manor, and I adored their goblin. He was so cool. But yeah, I think I got a selfie with him too. I act like that was like an actor, but I'm pretty sure did I put a thumbs up for every single selfie? Man, I hope I didn't. I did that a lot. I do this a lot, and I think it's a nervous thing when I'm getting pictures with people. I do that. Sylvia's Odd Treasure. Almost messed that up. Sylvia's Odd Treasures, because I can talk. They had a lot of cool stuff to offer. They had I believe it was like the old asylum stuff. I want to say, like, I wonder, like, glass eyes and stuff. Yeah, they had like glass eyes, and I'm not acrylic eyes. That's what they were. And like really old, odd, curious things that I'm not, they looked real. They looked like they were like maybe not used. I don't want to say used. That implies they were used for medical stuff. But actually were made for like asylums. I'm not 100% sure, but they are aged. So yeah, put that around your house and look like it'll give someone the creeps. Maybe they'll behave. You get some of those annoying like family members over, get them to behave. Just show that just on the table, just laid out. Like, what's this for? It's like, that's if you misbehave.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. I would never do that to my family. Anyway, there's I'm gonna ruin it. The Right Paw, which is spelled with a W. They were next to Reagan Creations, who had the puppy, and the puppy was the model, had a cute little scarf on. Anyway, I got one for my dog because my dog is, well, she's a much bigger, she's a big old cattle dog. I call her my little cow dog, and she needed to look extra cute, so I got her a little bandana to go on her collar that desperately needs to be replaced. Unfortunately, you know, she's we'll get to that. The bandana is cute, it's well quality. She abuses my dog abuses her stuff. Like, she's always scratching, she's always itchy, so she kind of ruined it a little bit, but just a little bit. I think I might be able to fix it, maybe. We shall see. I wanted to wrap up with Tiny Terrors and Vamp Queen's Vault. And Vamp Queen's Vault, I couldn't help myself. I have to be like, oh, look at this, look at the pumpkin, things move. I get really excited, I have to touch them. And I wish I would have bought stuff from them too. And then also Witchy Whimsicles, who had the world's cutest teapot. It was a pumpkin, and you don't heat these up on the stove, because they made sure to tell me, and I do know this, but you have a kettle that you put on the stove. You warm it up, and then you put it in the water in the teapot with the tea, and you can pour it in your glass. That's how that works. But they had the cutest teapot, and I just, wish I could have had that teapot. I didn't go back because I wanted to pay with cash. I'm like, man, I'm $5 short. I can't do that one. But next year, or potentially some of these artists will be at the other shows that I'll be going to. Who knows? I might get super lucky. I don't know. I'm really excited to have just seen the amazing amount of hard work that these people put in to get shows like these going. And it was really cool. We got to see a bunch of hearses, and I do want to cover that too a little bit. Well, the food trucks, I didn't try any food, unfortunately, so we didn't really get any footage of the food trucks. However, I did check, and they did have gluten-free options there, and that is a change of, I've never seen food trucks with gluten-free options before. I'm like, man, go figure. I guess it's Ann Arbor. Maybe they're just better at it than maybe they're just better at it. I don't know. But it was a really nice change of pace to see that. And it was just a blast. They'd had shows going on. I don't know what the witch show was about. We stayed there for a while. They weren't really dancing in cohesion. They were just doing their own thing. I don't know. Part of it was it's kind of like I'm sure they're not. I don't want to come off as harsh, but they kind of just look like a bunch of drunk witches moving around and bringing up a bunch of dust. But again, we didn't stay the whole time. They probably started doing other stuff as well. And I don't know. It was still fun to watch. They were having a great time. Also, their costumes were really cool, and I really appreciated that. And they were in the hearse area, which wasn't a lot of space. They had space, but people kind of had to crowd around them, and some people who weren't interested in the show were kind of trying to compete by looking at the hearses, which were really cool. And they weren't just in that area, they were outside too a little bit. And then another barn had the costume contest and the reptiles, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the reptiles were called. And this is also was their 5th year for the expo going on, which is really cool for such a short amount of time. They have it well put together for, I feel such a short period of time, but then it probably wouldn't have worked out, if it doesn't take off right away. It's really hard to keep these things going. but it's really cool, and I like that it's the halfway to Halloween show. It's the really, you know, for people who really need that, who really rely, I don't know, like me, people like me who need Halloween and horror and haunt stuff in their life pretty much constantly to keep happy, to keep that brain juice going. Be like, yeah, you're happy, you're not anxious, you're happy. Like it keeps me going for a while, right? I don't like how that sounded. But yeah, I hope more people can experience this, and I will have another part coming out with obviously the things that I bought and covering just a few other things like the other influencers, I guess. I don't consider myself an influencer, and I don't know if they do, but other people who are on social media like Instagram and YouTube that came across, like the Scare Factor, which I had no idea was being filmed. Or they were streaming, sorry, when they turned around and were like, hi, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. I didn't know they were streaming. I didn't put two and two together. I can't read people, and I can't apparently read the room either. I know, I just can't. Anyway, we'll talk about them because I do want to like give them credit too, because a lot of them took the time, like a couple of them took the time to really talk to me, and that was really nice. But like, comment, subscribe if you want more, and if you've been there and you bought things, I would love to know what you guys got and what you did and what you thought about the expo. Bye.